Today we're going to go over equations and inequalities. Remember that your calculator will solve any equation for you by putting it where? Y equals. So I am perfectly fine with you solving equations on your STAAR test, your EOC, in your calculator. But I am going to go through and do a few by hand because when you solve inequalities, your calculator won't give you the absolute final answer. Does that make sense? But let's put this in our calculator. What's the first thing you need to check when you're solving equations in your calculator? What if it can't see the answer? Your windows. Yes, your X minimum and your X maximum, your Y minimum and your Y maximum. So just remember that when your windows are set small, right now my answer would have to be between negative 20 and 20. So if the answer's 30, my calculator can't see it. So when you're solving equations, you might want to set this very, very big. You can literally do negative 1,000 to positive 1,000. Now, if you're needing your calculator to see a quadratic, you're going to have to go back and change it to where you can actually see what's going on. Does that make sense to y'all? Yes or no? Okay, so I'm just going to set it really, really big. That way if the answer is really, really big, it can see the answer. Okay, so I go to Y equals. I'm going to type the left side in Y1. So I would put it in 3x plus 8. For the right side, I'm going to type it exactly how I see it. So 2, open parentheses, 6x minus 11, close parentheses, minus 5x. And then who remembers what I hit? Second trace, because I want it to solve, calculate. So second calc, option 5 for intersection. You're looking at where the two lines intersect. Remember, do not touch it until the words intersection pop up right down here. Once it pops up, then you're going to hit enter until you see the words intersection, and that's your answer, x equals 7.5. Put your answer down low because we're going to go solve it by hand as well. So x equals 7.5. I'm going to say this again. On the EOC, there is nothing wrong with you solving the equation straight in your calculator. Everybody understand that? All right, let's go solve it by hand for practice. So number 1, what would be the first thing I would have to deal with? The parentheses. The left side I'm just going to leave alone. So I would write 3x plus 8 equals, and I'm going to distribute the 2. So 2 times 6x is 12x. And 2 times negative 11 is negative 22. And then the minus 5x just gets written at the end. Okay, what's the next thing I would do? Combine like terms. So this side, everything's combined that can be combined. But over here, I can do the 12x minus the 5x. So I would have 3x plus 8. And what is 12x minus 5x? 7x minus 22. Now I need to get all the x's to one side. I'm going to choose to move them to the left, but it really doesn't matter. I'm going to subtract the 7x on both sides. Are y'all good with me moving the 8 over to the right in one step as well? How would I get rid of the 8? Subtract the 8. So I'm going to do it all in one step. 3 minus 7 is negative 4x. This cancels out. This cancels out, and negative 22 minus 8 is negative 30. And how do I get rid of the coefficient negative 4? Divide by negative 4. And negative 30 divided by negative 4 is positive 7.5. So I did get that answer correct. Okay, any questions on equations? On your assignment, I am okay with you putting this in y equals and not having to do all the work, okay? I'm fine with that. Now, question. What do you do if the calculator gives you an error? First, you're going to check that your windows are set big because it might be giving you an error because it can't see the answer. Make sense? If they are parallel lines, it is no solution. It's going to give you an error and it's not going to tell you that. You might need to zoom your windows in so that you can look at them and see that they are parallel lines. Does everybody hear me? If they are the same line, it won't give you an error. I think it will tell you x is equal to 0, and x is not equal to 0. X is equal to every number that exists. If the line falls on top of the line, then it's all real numbers. So you do need to look at when it's graphing in this screen, are they two lines that intersect? Are they two lines that are parallel? Or are they two lines that are actually the same line? Do y'all understand that? Okay. There is one of those on here. Okay. All right, let's go to inequalities. Let's do number 6. Now, this is where your calculator is not going to give you your final answer. And that's why it's important that you know how to solve an equation. Now, you can put this in your calculator and it will give you the number that you should get, but it's not going to give you the inequality sign that you should get. So I'm going to show y'all what I mean. I can go put this in and pretend this is an equal sign. So I go to y equals, I clear everything out, I put in 7, open parentheses, x minus 2, close them, and on the right I put in 1/3, open parentheses, 27x plus 24. I hit second trace option 5. Don't touch the screen until the words pop up. There are definitely two lines that intersect. I hit enter, 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 and it's telling me my final answer is going to be -11. But the problem is this is not an equal sign, it's an inequality sign. So I don't know if my inequality is going to stay like this or it's going to reverse because I end up multiplying or dividing by a negative. Does that make sense? So I could put right down my final answer is going to be x is something to -11. I just need to figure out, is it going to be less than or equal to, or is it going to reverse and be greater than or equal to? All right, so let's go see if we're going to end up reversing our sign by solving it. So I would distribute the 7, and I would get 7x. Distribute the 7 to the -2 and get -14. It's less than or equal to. 1/3 of 27 is 1/3 times 27 is the same thing as 27 divided by 3. Yes? 9x plus 1/3 of 24 is the same thing as 24 divided by 3, which is 8. Okay, there's no like terms to combine on the left or the right, so now I'm going to pull all the x's. Now this is important that I pull the x's to the left because I'm writing it as an inequality. So I'm going to subtract 9x on both sides. And are y'all good with me moving the 14 in the same step? I'm going to add 14 to both sides. So this is going to cancel out. 7 minus 9x is -2x, is less than or greater, is less than or equal to, and 8 plus 14 is 22. Now stop. Will the sign reverse? Why? Because I'm going to have to get rid of that negative coefficient by division. So the minute you see the sign is going to reverse, you already know the answer. If I divide by -2, my answer is -11, and the sign reverses to greater than or equal to. So can you still use your calculator? Yes, but it's not going to tell you if the sign reverses. Questions, comments, concerns? Okay, flip to the back on number 9. I have seen this type of question pop up on the EOC very, very often. So you need to make sure you understand how to set this up. So it says the dimensions in centimeters of a rectangle and triangle are shown. The area of the rectangle is equal to the area of the triangle. So they're basically saying this area equals this area. Can I make an equation based on that? Yes, so the area of the triangle is equal to the area of the rectangle. Well, I need the formulas for area, and I'm going to tell y'all that EOC does not always provide the formulas. You kind of need to know them. Y'all all know a rectangle. What is it? No, rectangle. You're Length times width. Y'all all know that one. The triangle is the one y'all might forget, and that's the 1/2 BH or BH over 2. So let's go set that up. The area of the triangle is going to be found by doing this times this, all times 1/2 or divided by 2. I like divided by 2. So I would do 20 times 3x plus 10, all divided by 2, is equal to the area of the rectangle. How do I find the area of the rectangle? Length times width. So 8 times 6x minus 1. Now, you can put this in your calculator all at once. You would use alpha y equals over here, yes? And then just put that in y2. Or, if you wanted to solve this by hand, do y'all remember what I told y'all? The first thing you have to do is, this whole side is being divided by 2, right? So to get rid of it, can I just multiply both sides by 2? Yes. So this would be multiplied by 2. This would cancel out. And then I would multiply this whole side by 2. I would go ahead and undo that. So like 48x minus 8. And the whole thing needs to be multiplied by 2. So if you're going to do it by hand, you got to do it correct. That's why this one might be easier just to put it in your calculator. Make sense? Okay. And then like number 10 is just combining like terms. So like it says, Haley frequently bikes to get exercise. On Monday, she rode this route. On Tuesday, she rode this route. It says, what is the difference? So you're saying, what is this minus this? So let's talk about how you would set that up correctly. I would say 13d squared plus 14d minus 17. And then I am subtracting this entire trinomials. So what would I need to put that in? Can I just put minus and then put that whole thing, or do I need to put it in parentheses because I'm subtracting the entire thing? I need to put it in parentheses. So 19 halves d squared minus 5 halves d plus 6. So before I do anything, what am I going to have to do with this subtraction sign? Distribute it. So be careful with those, okay? Now, you are going to finish the front and back of this as part of your assignment. I've just done some of it for you, and I set this one up. You still need to solve for x up here. Make sense? Yes, and then I don't want to help y'all too much with this one. I want y'all to think about it. It's really not that hard, but if you do need help, I will help you. But I want y'all to try to figure it out on your own. Got it? Okay, you may start.